Good day, everyone. Welcome to our class discussion for Chapter 2 Planning, Implementing, and Evaluating Marketing Strategies. In our previous chapter, we learned that marketing is much more than simply selling products or promoting services. We also discovered that successful marketing begins with understanding customers, creating value, and building long term relationships. We also discuss how organizations use the marketing concept to satisfy customer needs while achieving their business objectives. However, having a good understanding of customers alone is not enough. Businesses must also know how to translate that understanding into concrete plans and actions. Even the best marketing ideas can fail if they are not properly planned, implemented, and evaluated. These bring us the topic for today: planning, implementing, and evaluating marketing strategies. In this chapter, we will explore how organizations develop strategic marketing plans, align their marketing objectives with their mission and vision, analyze both internal and external environment, implement marketing strategy effectively, and evaluate whether those strategies are achieving their desired results. By the end of our discussion, you should not only understand the strategic marketing planning process, but also appreciate how every successful company, from local businesses to global organizations, uses strategic planning to remain competitive and responsive to changing customer needs. As a future marketing professionals, entrepreneur, and business leaders, learning how to think strategically will help you make sound marketing decisions that create value for both customers and organization. Now, before we begin our discussion, let's first look at the student learning outcomes. These outcomes serve as our guide and describe what you are expected to know and be able to accomplish by the end of the chapter. So first, for our student learning outcome is by the end of this chapter, you should be able to analyze the strategic marketing planning process and its role in achieving organizational goals. Evaluate the significance of an organization's mission statement and business strategies in guiding marketing decision. Third, assess organizational resources and the marketing environment to determine opportunities for developing competitive advantage. Fourth, develop marketing objectives and strategic initiative that's aligned with the organization's vision, mission, and overall business goals. Fifth is recommend appropriate approaches for the effective implementation of marketing strategies across various business situations. Six, evaluate strategic marketing performance using appropriate performance measure and key evaluation criteria. And lastly, construct a comprehensive marketing plan that integrates strategic planning, implementation, and performance performance evaluation. But for the comprehensive marketing plan, we're going to discuss that separately. So we're just going to end up on number 6, which is evaluate strategic marketing performance using appropriate performance, measure, and key evaluation criteria. So let's start. Let's go ahead and discuss the strategic planning process. Now, strategic marketing management is the process of planning, implementing, and evaluating the performance of marketing activities and strategies, both effectively and efficiently. Well, strategic marketing management is the process of really deciding what marketing actions a business should take, putting those plans into action and checking if those strategies are successful. It also helps businesses ensure that their marketing efforts are aligned in customer needs and organizational goals. Therefore, um, it answers three important questions. What should we do? That's planning. How will we do it? That's implementation. And did it work? And that's evaluation. Clothing business, for example, may plan to attract young customers through social media marketing, implement online promotions, and evaluate whether sales and promotion customer engagement increase after campaign. For strategic marketing management to be successful, business must not only achieve their goals but also use the resources wisely. This leads to us the concept of effectiveness and efficiency. Now, when we talk about effectiveness, this is the degree to which long-term customer relationship help achieve a organization's objectives. So effectiveness refers to how well a business achieve its desired goals. In marketing, a strategy in marketing, this is a strategy if effective when it successfully creates customer satisfaction, build loyalty, and helps the company reach its objectives. So while achieving goals is important, businesses must also consider how they use the resources in reaching those goals. Now let's discuss efficiency. Efficiency is minimizing the resources an organization use to achieve a specific level of desired customer relationship. This means that achieving result while using resources properly. Businesses should avoid unnecessary costs and find better ways to deliver value to customers. Aside from managing marketing activities effectively and efficiently, businesses needs a clear direction through strategic planning. Now, when we talk about strategic planning, this is the process of establishing an organizational mission and formulating goals, a corporate strategy, a marketing objectives, and a marketing strategy. So, should be guided, the strategic planning should be guided by a market orientation to ensure that the concern for customer, that a concern for a customer satisfaction is an integral part of the entire company, leading to the development of successful marketing strategies and planning processes. So basically, strategic planning should follow a market oriented approach, meaning business must consider customers when making decisions. Customer satisfaction should become the responsibility of the entire organization, not only the marketing department. So, say, for example, for an online shopping company, customer satisfaction depends not only on advertisements but also on product quality, delivery services, payment system, and customer support. Therefore, strategic marketing management is important because it provides businesses with clear direction. Marketing success does not happen by chance. It requires careful planning, proper implementation, and continuous evaluation. A business that understands its customers and develops strategies based on their needs has a greater chance of achieving long-term success. This figure, the components of the strategic planning process, shows that strategic planning flows a sequence where each component supports the next step in achieving the organizational success. Let's talk about the organization's mission and goals. This is the starting point of strategic planning. It defines the purpose of the organizations and what it wants to achieve. All strategies and decisions must align with the mission and goals. The mission and goals serve as the foundation for developing business strategies. Second is the corporate and business unit strategies. These strategies explain how the organization will achieve its mission and compete in the market. They provide the overall direction that different or departments will follow. After identifying the direction of the organization, business analyze their current situation to determine the best strategies to use. And that is analysis of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, or SWOT. This is the steps which will help organizations understand their internal capabilities and external environment. It identifies what the company does well, areas for improvement, possible opportunities, and potential challenges. The result of this analysis guide department in creating appropriate objectives and actionable plan. So let's talk about the departmental objectives and strategies. For marketing, it develops strategies to understand customers, promote products, and create value. For production, It ensures products are created efficiently with expected quality. For finance, manages the resources and ensures strategies are financially achievable. And for human resources, it develops and manages employees needed to implement plans. Now, all department works together because achieving organizational goals requires coordinated efforts from the entire organization. Strategic planning begins with knowing where the organization wants to go, determining how it will get there, understanding its current situation and creating specific plans for each department. When all department works together, the organization can effectively achieve its goals and create long-term success. Now let's talk about establishing organizational mission goals and strategies. Now, when we talk about a mission statement, this is a long term view or a vision of what the organization wants to become. The goals of any organization should derive from its mission statement. And mission statement, goals, and objectives must also properly implemented to achieve the desired result. It is advantageous to broadcast them to the public, customers, employees, and other stakeholders so that they know what they may expect from the firm. And each level of management and each department should have goals that stem from the mission statement and provide direction for the firm's activities. So, the mission statement basically serves as the foundation of strategic planning because it provides the organization's direction from the mission, business development businesses develop goals and strategies that guides every department. When everyone understands the works towards the same purpose, the organization has a stronger chance of achieving long-term success. Now, let's talk about developing corporate and business unit strategies. Strategic planning often begins at corporate level and proceeds downward to the business unit of marketing levels. So the strategic planning usually start with the top management where the overall direction and goals of the organization are established. Now these plans they are then passed down to different business units and departments so they can create strategies and support the overall objectives. And although strategic planning traditional starts from the top management, many organizations now recognize that the ideas and insight can also come from different levels of the organization. So organizations are increasingly developing strategies and conducting strategic planning that moves in both direction. Meaning that it's not only the top-down process. Organization also consider feedback and ideas from employees, departments, and business units because they have direct knowledge of customers and daily operations. So let's take a look at on this example. If a salesperson may provide customer feedback that helps manager improve products or develop better marketing strategies. So, because different parts of the organization have valuable knowledge and experience, businesses should involve people from various levels when creating strategies. Now, when conducting strategic planning, you have to seek out experts from many levels of the organization to take advantage of an in-house expertise and a variety of opinions. I'm sorry. So, organization really benefit when they include employees with different experiences and skills in the planning process. And different perspectives help create better strategies and solutions. When, say, for example, if we're going to launch a new product, managers may consult marketing staff, production employees, finance expert, and customer service representative to develop a more effective plan. So, corporate and business unit strategies ensure that every part of the organization works towards the same direction. While top management provides the overall vision, the participation of different departments helps create realistic and effective strategies. Strategic planning becomes stronger when decisions are supported by knowledge from across the organizations. Now, let's talk about the levels of strategic planning. These figures presents the different levels of strategic planning, showing how strategies move from different or overall direction of the organization down to a specific marketing actions. So this is what we called a this particular strategic planning really follows hierarchy. So the organization first identifies its purpose through the mission statement, then develop strategies at different levels until these strategies are translated into specific marketing decisions. Each level supports and guides the next level. So the mission statement serve as the foundation of strategic planning. It explains what the organization want to achieve and provides direction for all decisions. So the mission guides the development of the overall corporate strategy. So the corporate strategy now focuses on the overall direction of the organization, such as growth, expansion, or maintaining competitiveness. It provides guidance for different business units on how they should contribute to achieving organizational goals. So for a business unit strategy, they are actually focuses on how specific division, product line, or market segment will compete and succeed. It helps determine the strategies needed for specific markets, which then guide marketing decisions. Now, marketing strategy focuses on how the organization will attract customers and create value in the target market. It translates business strategies into actions that directly reach customers. Now, the marketing mix represent now the specific decisions marketers make through the four P's: product, place or distribution, promotion, and price. These are the actual action implemented to deliver the value to customers and achieve marketing objectives. So this figure shows that marketing strategies do not stand alone. They are connected to the overall direction of the organization. A successful marketing strategy starts with a clear mission, follows the company's goals, and is implemented through the right combination of product, distribution, promotion, and pricing decision. Now, let's talk about corporate strategy. So, corporate strategy is a strategy that determines the means of utilizing resources in the various functional areas to reach the organization's goal. So, among the different levels of strategy, corporate strategy is considered the broadest because it provides the overall direction of the entire organizations. So, corporate strategy is the broadest of the three levels of strategy, which is corporate, business unit, and marketing. And should be developed with organizations' overall mission in mind. Therefore, corporate strategy comes first because it established the foundation of business unit and marketing strategies. And all decisions made by lower levels should support the organization's missions and overall goals. Now, to create an effective corporate strategy, organization must first understand their proposed purpose and answer important questions about their customers and capabilities. So, addresses the two questions posed in the organization's mission statement. Well, this also talks about who are the customers. This question helps organization identify their target market, the specific group of people or organization they aim to serve. Next is what is our core competency? This means that it refers to the unique strengths, skills, and capabilities that allow the company to compete effectively and provide value to customers. So once an organization understands its customers and strengths, it must align its resources with the opportunities and challenges in the business environment. Corporate strategy planners attempt to match the resources of the organizations with the opportunities and threats in the environment. So, organization must analyze their available resources and compare them with the external conditions. The goal is to use strengths to take advantage of opportunities while preparing for possible threats. Corporate strategies serve as the foundation of all organizational strategies. It determines whether the company wants to go, who it wants to serve, and how it will use its resources to achieve success. Once the overall direction is established, the organization can develop specific strategies for each business unit and departments. Now, let's talk about the business unit strategy. The business unit strategy should be consistent with a corporate strategy while also serving the unit's needs. So, this actually focuses on how a specific part of the organization will achieve the success while still supporting the overall direction of the company. Each business unit creates its own plans based on its product, customers, and competition. Now, to better understand business unit strategies, we need to understand the role of strategic business unit or SBU within an organization. So when we talk about SBU, this is a division, product line, or other profit center within the parent company. It is a separate part of the company that focuses on a specific product, service, or market. It also operates within its own goals and strategies, but remains connected to the overall organization. So, since each SBU focuses on a specific market, it also serves a particular group of customers and competes with specific competitors. Now, each of these units sells distinct sets of products to identifiable groups of customers, and each competes with a well-defined sets of competitors. And because each SBU operates within its own focus, its performance and resources can also be evaluated separately. So, the revenue cost, investment, and strategic plans of each SBU can be separated from those of the parent company and be evaluated. So, organization can measure each business unit's performance by looking at its income, expenses, investment, and strategies. This actually helps manager determine which units are successful and which areas needs improvement. So, the business unit strategies help organizations manage different products or markets effectively. While corporate strategy provides the overall direction, business unit strategies focus on how each specific division can compete and succeed. The next step is developing marketing strategy that translate these business unit goals into action that creates value for customers. Now, strategic planners should really recognize that the strategic performance capabilities of each SBU and carefully allocate scarce resources among those divisions. So, organization need to evaluate the performance and potential of each strategic business unit before deciding where to invest their resources. Since resources such as money, time, and manpower are limited, businesses must prioritize the unit that provides the greatest opportunity for growth and success. So, to evaluate the performance of SBU, organization need to understand market they are serving and the customers who create demand for their products. So when we talk about market, this is a group of individual and an organization that have needs for products in a product class and have the ability, willingness, and authority to purchase those products. Market refers to the group of potential customer who need the product and have the ability and willingness to buy it. So aside from identifying the market, business also need to know how strong their position and compared with competitors. And that is what we call market share. This share is the percentage of market that actually buys specific products from a particular company. This shows how much of the total market a company controls compared to its competitor. A higher market share usually means that more customers prefer and purchase the company's products. So market share is one factor that influences SBU success, but businesses must also consider other factors such as product quality and market position. Let's say, for example, if there are 1,000 smartphone buyers in a market and 300 purchase from one brand, that company has 30% market share. Now, for product quality, order of entry into the market and market share have been associated with SBU success. So the success of business unit is often influenced by the quality of its product when it entered into the market and the number of customers it attracts. So business with high quality products and strong market position often have better chances of success. Managing different business units requires careful evaluation. Organization must understand their markets, measures their market position, and decide where resources should be allocated. By focusing on strong opportunities and improving weaknesses, business can develop strategic strategies that support long-term growth. Now, let's talk about the market growth and market share metrics. When we talk about this is a very helpful business tool based on the philosophy that a product's market growth rate and its market share are important consideration in determining its marketing strategy. The market growth or market share matrix is really a tool used by businesses to evaluate their products or business units. It helps managers decide whether to invest resources by looking at two factors: the market growth. This is how the attractive and fast growing the market is. The market share. This is how strong the company position is compared to competitors. This matrix has four categories: stars, cash cows, dogs, and question marks. Each category represents a different position of a product or business unit, which helps manager determine the appropriate strategy to use. When we talk about stars, a dominant share of the market, good prospect for product, per growth, and use cash than they generate to finance growth and add capacity and increase market share. Stars are products or business units that have a strong position in fast-growing market. They have high potential, but they require continuous investment to maintain their growth and market leadership. So while STAR requires investment for growth, some products generate more resources than they need, which leads to us the cash cows. Cash cows are products that already have a strong market position but are in a mature or slow growing market. They generate steady income that can be used to support other products or business activities. So, not all products are successful in the market. Some may have weak positions and limited growth opportunities, which are classified as dogs. Dogs are products with a small market share and limited opportunities for growth. Businesses usually evaluate whether these products should be improved, repositioned, or discontinued. The last category involves products with uncertain potential known as question marks. Question marks are products operating in attractive growing markets but currently have a weak position. Businesses must decide whether to invest heavily to increase market share or reduce support if the product does not show potential. So the market growth or market share matrix helps business decide where to invest the resources. Some product needs more investment to grow, while other products need income. I provide income to support the organization. Understanding the position of each product allows managers to create better strategies and make smarter business decisions. Now, this figure presents the growth share matrix. It is a tool developed by Boston Consulting Group or BCG that helps organizations evaluate their products or business units based on two factors: the product market growth and the relative market share. When we talk about product market growth, this is how fast the market is growing. Relative market share is how strong the product's positioning is compared with competitors. The matrix consists of four categories: the star, the question mark, cash cow, and dog. These figures shows how business decides where to invest resources by identifying the current position, by identifying the current position of their products. Products with high growth potential and strong market position may require investment, while products with low growth and weak position will need strategic decisions. So the growth share matrix helps managers understand which product observe investment and as well as with products may require changes. It provides a specific guide for making strategic decision by matching resources with products that have the greatest potential for organizational growth. Now let's talk about this one. The long-term health of the organization depends on having some products that generate cash and others that use cash to support growth. Well, a successful organization needs a balance between products that provide steady income and products that require investment for future growth. Some products help finance the company today, while others help create opportunities for tomorrow. Now, to determine whether a company has a balanced portfolio of products, manager must evaluate the performance of each different business units. So the major indicator of firm's overall health are then size and vulnerability of the cash cows, prospects for the stores, number of question marks, and dogs. Cash cows provide stable income for the organization. However, business must consider whether these products can continue generating revenue or if they are becoming vulnerable due to changes in customer preferences or competition. Products for the stars, these star represent products with strong market position and growth potential. Organization need to determine if these products can continue growing or eventually become major source of income. Next is number of question marks and dogs. Organization must carefully evaluate products with uncertain potential or weak performance. Too many question marks and dogs, well, may consume resources without providing enough benefits. Now, because resources are limited, organization must carefully decide where to invest their time, money, and effort. Now, if the resources are spread too thin, the company will be unable to finance promising new product entries or acquisition. When a company invests resources in too many areas at the same time, it may not have enough resources to support products with greater potential. Organization must prioritize investment that can provide better long-term result. So managing product requires strategic decision making. Organization must maintain product that generate income while investing in products that have growth potential. The goal is to create a balanced portfolio that supports both current performance and future success. Now let's talk about the competitive growth strategy. So market penetration is a strategy of increasing sales in current market with current products. These focuses on selling more of the existing products to the existing customers or market, and the goal is to increase sales without creating a new product or entering into a new market. Aside from increasing sales in existing markets, company may also look for opportunities by introducing their current products to new customers. So market development strategy of increasing sales of current products in new markets. So this involves finding new groups of customers or new location where existing products can be offered. The company expand its market reach without changing the product. And also, another way for business to grow is by improving existing product or creating new products that meets the needs of current customers. So, product development is a strategy of increasing sales by improving present products or developing new products for current markets. These focuses on creating better or new products for customers who already knew and support the brand. Businesses use this strategy to expand, to respond to changing customer needs and preferences. Let's say, for example, a smartphone company may release a new model with improved features to encourage existing customers to upgrade. So while businesses focus on improving existing markets and products, others may choose to enter completely new areas through diversification. So diversification allows firms to make better and wider use of their managerial, technological, and financial resources. Diversification happens when a company enters a new market with a new product. This strategy allows businesses to explore new opportunities and reduce dependence on only one product or market. Now, a company known for producing beverages may enter into the food industry by creating a new line of snacks. So, the competitive growth strategy helps the organization identify different ways to expand their business. A company may choose to grow by selling more of its current products, reaching new customers, improving products, or entering new markets. The best strategy depends on the organization's resources, goals, and market opportunity. Now, let's talk about the competitive growth strategies. This figure represents or presents the competitive growth strategy, which shows four ways organization can grow based on two factors. First is market, whether the company is serving a present or new market. Product, whether the company is offering us a present or new product. The four strategies are market penetration, product development, and market development, and then lastly, diversification. These shows that business have different options for growth depending on whether they want to improve existing products, enter new markets, and create new products. Company choose strategies based on their goals, resources, and opportunities in the market. Now let's understand each growth strategy and how business apply them in actual situation. Let's talk about market penetration. This is the present market plus present product. Market penetration focuses on increasing sales of existing product to existing customer. The business does not change its product or target market but tries to gain more purchases from current customer. So example, a fast food restaurant offering discount, loyalty cards, or promotion to encourage customer to visit more often. This is usually considered at least risky growth strategy because the company already understand the product and customers. Next is product development. This is the present market plus the new product. Product development involves creating new product or improving existing ones to satisfy the needs of current customers. So the company already knows its customer, but it introduces something new to increase customer interest and sales. Third is market development. This is the new market plus present product. So market development focuses on bringing existing product to new customer or new locations. So the product remains the same, but the business searches for new groups of customer. And lastly is diversification. This is the new market plus the new product. So diversification is the most challenging growth strategies because the company enters a new market with a new product. It involves higher risk but may create new opportunities. So because both the product and market are new, business need more research, resources, planning before applying this strategy. The competitive growth strategy helps business determine the best directions and for expansion. Companies may choose a safer approach by improving existing products and markets, or they may take greater risks by entering new markets with new products. The right strategies depends on the company's resources, capabilities, and goals. Now let's talk about assessing organizational resources and opportunities. The strategic planning process begins with an analysis of marketing environment, including the industry in which the company operates or intends to sell its product. So before creating strategies, businesses must first understand their environment. They need to analyze customer competitors, industry trends, and other factors that may affect their success. Aside from understanding the environment, organization must also identify unique strengths that they can use to compete effectively. Let's talk about core competency. These are the things a company does extremely well, which sometimes give an advantage over its competitors. These trends help business create value and maintain customer preferences. When business understand their strengths, they can look for opportunities when these capabilities can create value in the market. Next is market opportunity. This is a combination of circumstances and timing that permits an organization to take action to reach a particular target market. Therefore, opportunities do not always last forever. Businesses must act at the right time before competitors take advantage of them. Okay? So, next is strategic windows. This is a temporary periods of optimal fit between the key requirements of a market and the particular capabilities of a company competing in the market. This actually refers to the limited time when a company's strengths match what the market needs. So, when a company successfully uses its strengths to take advantage of the market opportunities, it can achieve a competitive advantage. And lastly is comparative advantage. This is the result of company matching a core competency to opportunities it has discovered in the marketplace. Competitive advantage occurs when a company performs better than competitors because it uses the unique strengths to satisfy customer needs. So before the organization develops strategies, they must first understand their resources, their strengths, their opportunities in the market. By identifying what they do best and matching these strengths with customers' needs, businesses can create competitive advantages that supports long-term success. Now let's talk about SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is an assessment of an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is actually a strategic tool used by business to evaluate their current situation. It helps organization understand their internal capabilities and external environment before making decisions and developing strategies. The strengths and weaknesses focus on internal factors that the company can control, while opportunities and threats focus on external factors that the company must monitor. So therefore, SWOT analysis will really helps organization understand where they currently stand. By identifying strengths and weaknesses, business can improve their internal capabilities, while recognizing opportunities and threats allows them to prepare for challenges in the marketplace. This analysis becomes the foundation of creating effective marketing strategies. So the four cell SWOT matrix. Yan. So the figure represents the four cell SWOT matrix, which shows how organizations use the result of SWOT analysis to develop strategies. It connects the organization's internal factors, which are the strengths and weaknesses, with external factors, which is the opportunities and threats. Now, the matrix contains the four major areas: the weaknesses and the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The main goal is to match the strengths with opportunities and convert weaknesses and threats into strategies for improvement. So let us now understand how each part of the SWOT metrics guides strategic decision making. So first is strength from strength plus opportunity match. Organizations should match their strengths with available opportunities to create competitive advantages. This means using what the company does best to take advantage of favorable market conditions. So let's say, for example, a business with strong online selling skills can use the increasing demand for online shopping as an opportunity to expand its market. So strength help organization maximize the opportunities. Now let's talk about the weaknesses plus opportunities. So businesses can convert weaknesses into the strengths by improving their limitations and using available opportunities for growth. So let's say, for example, a small business with limited online presence can improve its digital marketing skills to take advantage of the growing online market. So opportunities now can help organization overcome the weaknesses. Third is strength plus threat match. So organization can help. I can use their strength to reduce the impact of external threats. Strong capabilities allow businesses to respond better to challenges. Example, a company with strong customer loyalty can compete more effectively when new competitor enters the market. So strength help protect the organizations from threats. And lastly is weaknesses plus threat. So business must address weaknesses that may become more harmful when combined with external threats. So this requires corrective actions and uh, strategic improvements. So that is why it calls convert the threat to opportunities and then the weaknesses into the strengths. Yeah. So organization need to convert weaknesses and manage the threats to avoid failure. So the SWOT matrix helps business move from the analysis to action. Now, identifying the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats is only the first step. The real purpose is to develop strategies that use the strengths effectively, improve weaknesses, take advantage of opportunities, and minimize the threats in the marketplace. Let's talk about the first mover and late mover advantage. This is when we talk about first mover advantage. This is the ability of a company to achieve long-term competitive advantages by being the first to offer an innovative product in the marketplace. So, being the first in the market can provide several benefits actually. But companies must also understand the challenges and risks that come with being an innovator. So let's talk about the advantages of being the first mover. It helps the company build reputation as a pioneer and market leader. The market is free of competition, of course, and helps establish customer brand loyalty where switching to another may be costly or difficult. And then the firm can protect its trade secrets and technology through patents. The risk, on the other hand, is high cost outlays associated with creating a new product. Early sales growth may not match predictions if the firm overestimates demands or fails to target marketing efforts correctly. And then the product could fail due to market uncertainty or the product might not meet consumer expectations needs. So therefore, being the first mover company in the market can create strong advantages, but it also involves risk. Businesses must carefully evaluate market needs before investing into new products. Innovation is valuable, but success depends on understanding customers, managing resources, and creating products that truly provides value. Now, let's talk about late mover advantage. The ability of later the ability of later market entrants to achieve long-term competitive advantage by not being the first to offer a product in the market. So, late mover advantage happens when company enters the market after other business have already introduced a product. Instead of creating a completely new product, late movers can learn from the experience and mistake of earlier competitors. Although entering the market later may seem like a disadvantage, late movers can also gain benefits by learning from the experiences of the first movers. So its advantages are the following. benefit from the first mover's mistake and improve on the product design and marketing strategy. Lower initial investment costs because the first mover has already developed a distribution infrastructure and educated buyers, and then more data and uncertainty about product success. So therefore, a company can analyze customer reviews of existing products before developing its new improved version. Okay, so that is something that a late mover advantage is all about. They can create more data and certainty about product success. Now, let's talk about disadvantages of being a late mover. So, first is first mover may have patents and other protections on its technology and trade secrets. Of course, a technology company, let's say, with patented features may prevent competitors from using the same design, right? And then customers who had already purchased the first mover's product may believe switching will be expensive or time consuming, making it difficult to gain market share. And then lastly is timing of entry into the market is crucial and can determine the advantage that is possible. Therefore, both first movers and late movers have their own advantages and challenges. Being first provides the opportunity to build strong market position, while entering late allows companies to learn from existing company competitors and improve their strategies. Now, the key factor is not always being first, but understanding the market and creating value for customers. Now, let's talk about developing market objectives and marketing strategies. Now, marketing objectives is a statement of what is to be accomplished through marketing activities, and it should be based on a careful study of the SWOT analysis, match the strengths to opportunities, eliminates weaknesses, minimize threats, be stated in clear, simple terms, be measurable as well, and specify a time frame for its accomplishment, and be consistent with business unit and corporate strategy. So, when we talk about marketing strategy, on the other hand, this is a plan of action for identifying and analyzing target market and developing a marketing mix to meet the needs of the market. So, let's say, for example, a coffee shop targeting college student may develop a strategy that includes affordable pricing, social media promotion, convenient location, and products that match customer student preferences. So after establishing marketing objectives, the next step is developing the appropriate marketing strategy. This strategy will guide the company of how to reach its target customers and create value through the right marketing decisions. Now let's talk about selecting the target market. Selecting an, an appropriate target market may be most important decision a company makes in the strategic planning process. Choosing the right target market is important because not all customers have the same needs, preferences, and buying behaviors. After identifying the importance of choosing the right target market, the company must understand why this decision should come before creating marketing strategies. So the target market must be chosen before the organization can adapt its marketing mix to meet the customer's needs and preferences. So understanding the target market helps the company create offers that match their expectation. Next is identification and analysis of a target market provide foundation on which the company can develop marketing mix. So this information gathered becomes the basis for creating effective marketing strategies. Next is marketing manager evaluate how entry could affect the company's sales cost and profit. So before entering a specific market, companies must determine if the opportunity will provide enough benefits compared to the expense involved. A market may look attractive, but it must also be financially practicable. And lastly, marketers should also assess whether the company has the appropriate resources to develop a marketing mix that meets the needs of a particular target market. So once a company identifies its target market and understands its customers' needs, the next step is to create a marketing mix that will effectively deliver value and satisfy those customers. Now let's talk about creating marketing mixes. Using all relevant information available to conduct in-depth research allows a firm to select the most appropriate target market, which is the basis for creating a marketing mix that satisfies the needs of the target market. Before creating a marketing mix, a company must first gather information about its customer, competitors, and market condition. This research helps the company understand what customers' needs and develop the right combination of product, price, distribution, and promotion. After identifying the target market and understanding customer needs, the company must ensure that its marketing mix decisions support its overall business direction. So all marketing mix decisions should be consistent with the business unit and corporate strategy, as I explained earlier. Flexible to permit the organization to alter the marketing mix in response to changes in market condition, competition, and customer needs. And by utilizing the marketing mix as a tool set, a company can detail how it will achieve a competitive advantage. So when we talk about sustainable competitive advantage, this is an advantage that competition cannot copy. What does it mean? So meaning that this is something special that allows the company to remain successful because competitors cannot easily duplicate it. It creates a long term value and strengthens the company's position in the market. So, after developing the marketing objectives, selecting the target market, and creating the marketing mix, the next step is to manage managing marketing implementation. So, let's talk about managing marketing implementation. When we talk about market implementation, this is the process of putting marketing strategy into actions. So, organizing the market unit. So, the company that truly adopt the marketing concept develop an organizational culture that is based on a shared set of beliefs that places the customer's needs at the center of decisions about strategy and operation. See, in organizing the marketing unit, it should be there would be centralized organization, which is the structure in which top level managers delegate little authority to local lower levels. We also have decentralized organization, which is the structure in which decision making authority is delegated as far down from chain of command as possible. So coordinating and communication. Now, marketing managers must coordinate diverse employees' actions to achieve objectives and work closely with other departments to ensure marketing activities align with other functions of the firm. This is making it easy for each department to communicate if there are changes in the implementation or changes on the strategy that has been implemented by different departments or business units. It is also important that communication flow upward from the front lines of the organization to upper management. Therefore, customer contact employees can also provide marketing manager with a rich sources of information, and these are what customer require, how products are selling, the effectiveness of marketing activities, and any issues with marketing implementation. Yeah. So basically, if coordinating and communicating has been established, there will be no issues that will arise in terms of the implementation of marketing strategies because each department has the opportunity, understand what's going on during the implementation. And if there are issues within the marketing implementations, everyone is coordinated well. Now, training is also essential element of communicating with marketing employees. So, training helps employees understand their responsibilities, develop the skills needed for their work, and properly execute marketing strategies. However, training alone is not enough. Employee must also be motivated and rewarded to encourage them to perform effectively. So, employees' motivation and reward programs should also be fair, ethical, and well understood. To create an effective motivation system, organizations should consider several approaches that encourage employees to improve their performance. First is inform workers how their performance affect results and their own compensation. Then provide appropriate and competitive compensation. So meaning that the company must offer reasonable salaries and benefits, which is more likely to help keep skilled marketing employees. Then, link pay with performance. Rewards should be connected to employees' achievements. So, this encourages employees to work harder because they can see the benefits of good performance. Next is implement flexible benefits program. A flexible benefits allows employees to receive benefits that match their personal need and preferences, increasing satisfaction and motivation. And lastly is adopt participative management approach. A participative market management approach allows employees to share ideas and participate in decision making. This makes employees feel valued and more committed to organization's goals. So effective marketing implementation depends not only on strategies but also on the people who execute them. When employees are trained, motivated, and involved, organization can better achieve their marketing objectives. Now let's talk about establishing a timetable for implementation. This is very important. A timetable helps the company organize when and how marketing activities should be completed. It ensures that every task is done properly, resources are used efficiently, and employees understand their responsibilities. Now, example, when launching a new product, a company may create timeline for product preparation, advertising, sales activities, and customer feedback collections. To create an effective implementation timetable, organization must carefully arrange the activities needed to achieve their marketing objectives. So first is identify the activities to be performed. This is the first step in the which is determining all the tasks needed to execute the marketing strategy. Second is to determine the time required to complete each activity. Now, each activity should have a specific time requirement to ensure that the tasks are completed on schedule. Second is separate activities performed in sequence from those performed simultaneously. So some activities must be completed first before others can begin, while some tasks can happen at the same time to save time. Then organize the activities in the proper order. Arranging activities in the correct sequence help avoid delays and ensures a smooth implementation process. A company should first prepare the product, then promote it, and finally distribute it to customers. And then lastly is assign responsibility for each activity to employees, teams, and managers. Now, each task should have a person or group responsible for completing it. Clear assignment of responsibilities prevents confusion and improves accountability. So, creating a timetable and assigning responsibilities help ensure that marketing management as strategies are properly executed. However, after implementation, companies must also evaluate whether their strategies are achieving their goals. So the next topic is evaluating marketing performance or evaluating marketing strategies. Now let's talk about evaluating marketing strategies. So strategic performance evaluation establishes Performance standard, measuring actual performance, comparing actual performance with established standards, and modifying the marketing strategy if needed. So, this is the process of checking whether a marketing strategy is achieving its intended goals. It helps companies identify if their plans are working or if adjustments are needed to improve results. Sorry, where I am. Where am I? I'm sorry. Okay. So, before a company can evaluate its performance, it must first determine what level of performance it expects to achieve. So, next, establishing performance standards. So, performance standard is an expected level of performance against which actual performance can be compared. So, it provides a basis for determining whether actual result meets expectations. So, let's say, for example, if a company may set a standard of increasing monthly sales by 10% or reducing customer complaints by 20%. Once a performance standard is established, the company can now compare this expectation with actual results achieved. So, for example, a 20% reduction in customer complaints, a monthly sales quota of $150,000, or a 10% increase in new customer accounts. This example shows that performance standards should be specific and measurable. Clear targets allows managers to determine whether marketing activities are successful. Next is analyzing actual performance. The principal means by which marketer can gauge whether a marketing strategy has been effective in achieving objectives is by analyzing the actual performance of the marketing strategy. This may include analyzing the sales, customer satisfaction, market share, and other performance indicator. Now, evaluating marketing strategy does not end with measuring result. Companies must also compare actual performance with their standard and decide whether changes are necessary to improve marketing activities. Now, let's talk about sales analysis. Sales analysis, this is an analysis of sales figures to evaluate the firm's performance. Sales analysis is a method used by the companies to measure how well their marketing strategies are performing by examining sales results. This helps businesses determine if their product pricing, promotion, and distribution strategies are achieving their objectives. So, sales data provide important information about customer responses, but companies must also compare the sales results with other standards to better understand their performance. And then a common method, sales analysis is a common method of evaluation because sales data are readily available and can reflect the target market reaction to marketing mix. Current sales data must be compared with sales forecasts or forecasted sales, industry sales, specific competitor sales, and the cost incurred from marketing effort to achieve the sales volume. Now, although the sales may be measured in several ways, the basic unit measurement is the sales transaction. So organizations should record all information related to a transaction so that they can analyze sales in terms of dollar volume or market share. So recording complete sales information helps companies evaluate their financial performance and understand their position compared to competitors. Through sales analysis, companies can identify whether their marketing strategies are producing the expected results. However, sales figures are only the measure of performance. Now, let's talk about marketing cost analysis. So, for marketing cost analysis, this is the analysis of cost to determine which are associated with specific marketing efforts. So, one way to analyze costs is by comparing the company's costs with industry averages. So, when looking at the industry averages, a company should take into account its own unique situation. And then the company costs can differ from the industry average for several reasons. including its own marketing objectives, cost structure, geographic location, types of customers, and scales of operation. Now, let's take a look at on the last topic that we're going to discuss today for evaluating marketing strategies. Now, comparing actual performance with performance standards and making changes if needed. So, when we talk about when actual performance exceed performance standards, you have to try to gain an understanding of why a marketing strategy is really effective. And then when actual performance does not meet performance standards, you have to determine as to why a marketing strategy was less effective than expected. And then determine whether the marketing objective against the which performance is measured is realistic. Okay? So as we concludes today's discussion, let us remember that successful marketing does not happen by chance. It is not the result of careful planning, effective implementation, or continuous evaluation. So every organization, regardless of its size or industry, must have a clear direction. Strategic marketing planning enables businesses to align their mission, objectives, resources, and market opportunities in order to achieve sustainable growth and competitive advantage. More importantly, planning is the only the beginning. Organization must execute their strategies effectively, monitor their performance, and make necessary adjustment in response to changing customer needs and market conditions. This cycle of planning, implementing, and evaluating allows businesses to remain relevant and competitive in today's dynamic marketplace. As future marketers and business professionals, I encourage you to develop a habit of thinking strategically before making decisions. Always ask yourself, what are our objectives? Who are our customers? What strategy will create the greatest value, and how will we measure success? These are the same questions that successful marketing manager ask every day. In our next chapter, we will build upon the foundation by examining the marketing environment, social responsibilities, and ethics, where we will learn how external environmental forces influence marketing decision and why ethical and socially responsible practices are essential for long-term business success. So thank you so much everyone for listening, and see you on to our next lesson discussion. Have a great day.